Hey there, YouTube family. It's Humberto from GrayLaw TV, and I'm wearing my mask today in support of you during these crazy times, especially for you students. What's going on? The administration is trying to kick you out of the country. ICE says that they're going to come and deport you. I don't think so. Okay? I don't think it's going to happen. But you have to be mindful as to what's going on. If you are taking online courses and your school's not offering in-person courses, the administration says you have to leave. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some positive news, because what happens is I get calls all the time from my clients. This morning I had 25 calls, and they're asking me, Humberto, should I get ready to leave? What should I do? So what I do is I give my clients practical advice. There's some alternatives you can take right now during this COVID-19 pandemic and this crazy administrative policy that they're trying to put in place right now. So I'm going to provide you with some solutions. So let's talk a little bit about this threat that ICE is trying to impose on F1 students and M1 alike. M1 are the vocational visas. They're being targeted as well. So what's going on? This situation is going to be very fluid. If you're in the United States, you need to demonstrate that you are going to have some classes that are in person. And if your school's not offering in-person classes, then that's a problem. ICE says that you must depart the U.S. You no longer can, do classes online full-time. That's what this whole issue is about. I've been reading tons this morning, and it seems that a lot of schools are now making efforts to accommodate those international students who are currently here in the U.S. They are having professors make some in-person courses, which is great news, okay? Again, this whole situation is very fluid. Harvard and a few other schools have already filed suit against DHS, Department of Homeland Security, and what they're saying is that, this is unlawful. You cannot, a week or two before school is starting, say that students, can't be here when they're lawfully maintaining their student status. So there's going to be a lot of litigation. We'll see what's going to happen with that. That's coming down the pike right now. They're asking for an injunction, to stop DHS from doing what they're doing. So that's happening as we speak. So if you are outside of the U.S. and you're trying to get your F1 student visa to come back for fall, State Department just announced that yes, you can obtain an F1 or M1 visa if you can demonstrate that your school is putting in place some in-person courses, okay? Let's talk about some options, right? If everything is bad, what can you do? First thing you can do is you can request immediately for a change of status to a B visa. Okay, that's the visitor visa. You can request a change due to these circumstances that are beyond your control and because of COVID, because your school is not offering an in-person course of study. And, perhaps if you can't travel back home, let's say you're from Brazil, let's say you're from the UK, you can't make it back home. There's no flights. So you can request a change to a B on this humanitarian basis because of COVID-19. All right, so you can request 6 months. And so during that period, we can figure out what's going on with the F1 student visa. So I have clients who, really miss home. They haven't been home for a while because of this COVID-19. So one option is to return home and continue your online courses, okay? You can ask the school whether or not, these online courses is still good for your degree, whether or not they'll count for your degree, etc. I believe so. So that's one option as well. Another option is you can ask for early withdrawal or leave of absence from your course. So this way, your F1 visa will still stay intact, but if you choose that option, you must depart the U.S., okay? You have to leave within a certain period of time. Again, make sure that you consult with your DSO if that's an option that you want to take. So if for some reason, let's say technically during this period, you're going to fall out of status, there is a provision in the law for reinstatement to student status, where there's a situation that's beyond your control and it's going to cause you substantial hardship if you're not reinstated back into student status, then that provision can work for you. Specifically in the regs, it actually talks about school closures and it talks about disasters as being reasons beyond your control where your F1 student visa can in fact be reinstated. So there are those options and it's specific in the regulations, so that can be an option in the event, technically, that you fall out of status. Just know also that while your reinstatement to student status is pending, you must maintain a full course of study during that period. Another option, if you've been dating and you want to marry a U.S. citizen, that will keep you in status here in the U.S. Even if you fell out of status, technically, or otherwise, marriage to a U.S. citizen, you can file. In 6 months, you get a work permit. In 1 year, you get a conditional green card, and you're just fine. So if that's an option, you can take during this time, hey, it's one that might work. So another option is you can change to a different visa, okay? TN visa for Canadians and Mexican nationals, O visa for extraordinary ability, visas, in the art, television, film, and business areas. Very good visa. I do many of these. P visa for musical artists and or for athletes. You can get the P visa. There may be other visas that you qualify for. You might want to consult with an attorney, with a reputable attorney, and see what those options might be. So a lot of people are afraid, hey, what if ICE comes and gets me because I'm doing classes online and they put me under removal proceedings? I wouldn't worry so much about that, guys. Even if the worst case scenario it happens, they will charge you with violating the terms of your visa. What I would do as your attorney is I would fight that. I would deny these allegations and I would say, look, I was maintaining a full course of study. Just because it was online doesn't mean, I violated the terms of my visa itself. Certainly if it was no fault of my own and it was the school that didn't offer the in-person classes. So that's one thing that I would do. I would fight the allegations. Now, court cases are going on for 3 or 4 years at that point. And since they're charging you for violating your visa, that means you're out of status. I would file for reinstatement that we spoke about before, back to F1 status. And certainly by the end of this case in court in front of an immigration judge who will not deport you, I guarantee you, the reinstatement will be approved and then you can terminate proceedings, okay? So that's how that's gonna play out. And again, this whole situation is fluid. Hey, you gotta hang in there, students, because you are a part of the fabric of our society at this point. You work hard. You've worked very hard to get where you are, and we appreciate your talents. Certainly I do. We want you here in the U.S. because you contribute so much. So do not give up on this, okay? Don't give up. Look at your options. Be smart during this time. Hey, you hang in there. Thanks for watching GrayLaw TV. Click below, like, and subscribe.